Brief update from this morning's live stream. In fact, we'll do something of a small recap just to kind of take a look back on the week. We started out really strong. We had a couple live trades this morning and yesterday. So yesterday we had one on Solana. We took this one here. This was such a sweet setup. Again, called live in the live stream Tuesday morning, where we got this really nice sweep of Monday low. We nearly bottom ticked this setup and traded it right up to our target at around 34 here. I left a small runner and wound up closing, after watching price consolidate and failed to break above Monday high. Great way to start the week. We had an additional setup here. This one was a very low time frame setup. The first one being a 3R. This one was about a 2R. We took this one this morning, again, live. We were sitting on the 1 minute chart and I remember watching it break right through a buy wall in here. And I said, yep, this is it. I mark it long, and it closed, or I should say it rejected right at our primary target where the trade closed and then fell straight back down. So this was a beautiful trade, 2R again on this one here. And now, I'm currently sitting long in this position. We going on to a little bit of a higher time from here. We'll take a look at H1. We caught this move. We caught this move down here, which got filled later on in the day. I've been watching this one for a while. Got to move back up to this SR flip zone here. Took a little bit of profit, and I'm now just sitting in that position. I have not added on this sweep or anything like that. I just didn't see any setup there. Nothing that was good for me. And plus, it's Wednesday night. We've already had a couple really good trades on Solana. No need to push it. So I think tomorrow morning when we get back on live stream, we'll look at local areas of liquidity, and maybe price will, again, give us a really nice setup to where we can finally take out these targets, because we have so much liquidity resting, at some of these higher levels here that, in my opinion, are just like begging to get taken, right? Taking a look at BTC, I made a small adjustment to our BTC long setup from this morning, and the reason that happened, this is pretty funny. I on Tuesday, when I market entered that Sol long live on Tuesday, I had a limit order set right here at about 93. I actually had right around 93,550, and price just barely front ran me. And I was so focused on, my Sol positioning and market entering on that. Plus, I was more bullish on Sol. I talked quite a bit about that. I was more eager to long Sol, and I'm glad I did, because we caught a 10% move, whereas BTC, kind of topped out around a 3% upside there. So I just barely got front ran on that. That would have been another nice win on the week, but that's okay. I think maybe some people had caught it. I don't know. But this one here was really nice, and I kind of learned from my mistake on this one. On the last one here, it looks like I already closed it out. What I did was I adjusted my entry to around 94,700. And I had my stop. Let me take a look here. I had my stop below this area in here, and my target was 97,400. So this was slightly more than a 2-hour trade. Another beautiful setup. And my reasoning behind that was we had this sort of local range put in here, and if you just sort of draw this over, you can see that's exactly where we bounced from. So we nearly bottom ticked this long on a limit order that we had set prior to the dump. Really beautiful setup, very clean, a little bit over 2-hour trade right to target. Price went a little bit higher after that, but I'm totally fine with that. In the same way that we saw that Sol trade go straight to target, immediately dump, I'm going to stick to my primary targets just like I did with this one. So another great setup. Although, missing this one, I, by roughly 100, 150 bucks or whatever it was, I'm so glad I had my original limit order was set to about 94,400, and I went on Twitter and the Discord this morning and said, yeah, I think we're going to move that up to about 94,700. I think will be the better mark, and thank God I did, because it allowed us to catch and bottom tick this long here. So taking a look at BTC, we are pretty damn close to 100K, but this is something I talked about in the past, was if we just go ahead and take a look at higher time frames, This channel, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here and talk about this too much, but this level, this 99K zone, was a level that I had marked out quite some time ago, weeks ago now, and we're seeing that price is rejecting from it very, very cleanly. It's a really easy trick, right? This is the previous channel high. If we draw it from here to here, I just doubled the size of the channel and it gave us this target here, and we can see it as acting really nicely as resistance. And something that I've been saying recently is that I think that we're going to put a period of consolidation below the 100K mark before breaking through it, because it's such a strong psychological level that we've all been anticipating for a long time. And in that, sort of time frame, we'll put in something of a mini alt season, which we've been seeing now with Ethereum as, price has begun to rotate some of that money into, that alternative asset, ETH being the second largest in the crypto ecosystem. And so if we go down to lower time frames, I'm going to show you just kind of like what I'm looking at here. And that's going to be something kind of like this, where I had talked about a potential ABC formation initially that would bring us down to 88K. But something I'd said, I was talking about this on Monday and maybe even Tuesdays, is that if we're going to do it, it needs to happen fast, because typically these things are symmetrical. So the distance of time that it takes to get here and here should be about the same for it to go down to here. And so when we started to get around this mark, I thought to myself, I don't think that this is going to play out. And so that's why I looked to flip long here, which got front ran. Very happy I adjusted my entry, caught this one here. And now what I'm starting to see is an ABCDE formation in ascending triangle, which is a bullish formation. A really, really nice bullish formation, which target, if you go ahead and take the high of A and the low of A and then, run it up to a 1-to-1 extension, would end up targeting around 108. And so if this is indeed an ascending triangle here, we can look for price to come back down and test this area again. C shouldn't be taken out. A especially shouldn't be taken out. And so it's going to give us a lot of opportunity for a pretty high risk to reward ratio trade here, if this is in fact the pattern that's going to end up playing out. Again, it's Wednesday night. I just wanted to do a little bit of a recap to sort of touch base on what I'm looking at. But in tomorrow's live stream, we'll go ahead and cover areas of liquidity as we normally do, sort of go through and look at some trading plans and some entries. And, of course, that'll give price a little bit more time to develop and, give us a little bit more information to work with. But in the meantime, this is what I'm thinking on BTC for now. And this was just my initial long zone here. I'm not saying that we're going to get that, but you can see here it's just sort of a nice pocket in between these, the last high pre-break here. And then, of course, this sort of order block down here like this. Could be a nice area for a long position if given. But we'll go ahead and update and take a look at that tomorrow morning in the live stream. Again, these live streams Tuesday through Friday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. The last two, we've caught 2 live trades on Solana that just absolutely printed, and have talked a lot about these setups. And, it's a really nice in-depth look as to why I'm taking the trades that I'm taking. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. But again, we'll right now, I'm going to let price sort of do its thing. I'm still in this sole long position. This is the only long position that I'm in right now. The only position that I'm in, well, with the exception, of course, of my swings. But I don't really see any reason to add anything here. I'm going to let price do its thing. Tomorrow morning, we'll go ahead and take a look at some setups in the live stream along with the local liquidity.